Hello everybody, UB here, and today I'm going to show off a project I did just behind me, a little home decor sort of zhuzh. And as I do that, I'm going to talk about kind of what I'm doing on the channel, what's the point, where am I going, all of that good stuff. So with that being said, let's get started. Well, good morning. I hope you're having a wonderful day, or whatever time of day you're watching this in. I think we'll just jump in and I'll tell you about the steps that I took to make this project, and then because it's pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple, I think I'm just going to kind of chat with you guys about the journey that I've been taking and some problem solving as it pertains to YouTube and how to YouTube. Let's get started. So as far as this project goes, I wanted to create some little dioramas inside of these fake books that I got on clearance at the craft store, and they were literally 25 cents a piece, so I didn't feel bad nabbing them. I think they really add a little bit of vintage whimsy to the house, and vintage whimsy is kind of my vibe. The books have our initials on them. Obviously, my partner's name is Nathaniel, and my name must start with a C, but we go by UB here because that's what my friends call me. I guess that brings up a pretty fun thing that I can talk about here, and that's a question that I get a lot is, UB? Where did that come from? The channel is called UB Draws because I'm UB and I draw things. Hopefully I'll be bringing some more drawing content back to the channel. However, if you want to see more of my drawings, you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook, because I have been drawing pretty regularly for a handful of months now and really been enjoying the different mediums I've been playing with. With that being said, UB is a nickname that my friends actually gave me back during the world shutdown for reasons that we all know. And essentially what happened is Nathaniel, my partner, invited me to join a very large group that was getting together online to play Among Us. I had only met Nathaniel a couple times before that. We had worked on a video project together. I was kind of like a fish out of water in the larger group, but as the world kind of opened up a little bit and we got a handle on the craziness that was going on in the world, I was able to find a little bit more comfort in the smaller group that stuck around for the long haul. I made some of my best friends in that group and really loved playing video games with them. And so I had to come up with a gamer tag on the fly, and essentially I picked Unfinished Business. Unfinished business often refers to the reason why a ghost is sticking around on the mortal plane. So they have something in their living life that they never finished, and that means that they have to stick around as a ghost until they finish it. I love ghosts. Case in point, I was just unfinished business, and that got shortened down over time to UB. Don't get me wrong, I love my everyday name as well, but UB is what my friends call me, and so I'd like to think that we can be friends as well. Now that we've talked about that, the project here is actually pretty cool. I started by making backgrounds for each diorama that I wanted to make, and each one kind of leans towards Nathaniel's or my personalities. Nathaniel absolutely loves trains. He is a train nerd, and I love leaning into that for him around the house. So I wanted to create a scene that was very whimsical and had a train incorporated. And so I went on Pinterest and did my best to find inspiration in art that other people have made. I've been really enjoying drawing with alcohol markers, brush markers essentially, and so that's what I chose to use here. And then for myself, obviously I'm a crazy person when it comes to mushrooms. Mushrooms felt right for the overall theme, and just keeping in that nature-y style felt good. After I finished those backgrounds, I cut them down to size and made sure to paste them in the back of the books, and then I extended the colors that I was using onto the sides and top and bottom of the books to make sure that it was somewhat seamless all the way through. And then after that, I used all sorts of little things such as small mushrooms, moss that I got from the craft store, sand, all sorts of small things to decorate my diorama and basically make them pop into the 3D realm. It is a really simple project, and I hope that you'll think about doing something like this for your life because it's very similar to a book nook. It's just a different point of view. And I think it's really fun, especially if you can find fake books like this on sale or at the thrift store. I myself have a lot of these fake books from the thrift store all around the house. With all of that explained, I do want to talk about the channel, and I've given channel updates in the past, and I had all sorts of big ideas about what I wanted things to look like in the future, but just like everything else on this channel, the actual making of my videos is very much an experimental learning process, and I really want to share that with you guys. Number one, I am going to keep creating videos. I have no intention of leaving anytime soon, but the more subscribers I get, the more sustainable this project can be. So if you can help me out by sharing my videos, especially when they're really interesting to you, I'd really appreciate it. Secondly, I'm really leaning into Patreon this year. I've been uploading freebies such as patterns, and for this video I'll be uploading free wallpapers for your phone that you can download and use. Those are free to everyone, not just my patrons. So if you could give me a follow on Patreon, you'll get access to all of those freebies, but it'll also help me reach more people that are hopefully able to financially support me a little more as time goes on. Thirdly, 2024 is a year where I've decided to really hone my skills and focus on skills rather than income generation. This is something that I can do because I'm incredibly privileged. Do not overlook that. I'm not overlooking it, but because of where our household sits, I am able to spend my time just focusing on my drawing skills, or my video editing skills, or my video creation skills, which is what we're going to talk about next. Making videos looks really easy until you have to do it. The fact of the matter is, a project just takes like 40% longer when you're filming it because you're moving the camera around, you're having to refocus it, you're doing all of this extra little stuff. Sorry, my camera battery died, so where was I? So I've been gaining a lot of skills and very much studying the things that I'm really passionate about. That has kind of forced me to confront my own mediocrity. I'll be the first to tell you that making mediocre art does not make you a charlatan, it does not make you a fraud, it does not make you a bad person. And that's coming from someone who has made a lot of mediocre art, which is partially why some of my pieces are really cool and some really suck. The truth is, every artist has those pieces that really suck, that just didn't work out. And it's a little bit a quantity game in order to find that quality and find what works within your artistic process. That's partially what 2024 is all about, but I'm also not going to reinvent the wheel if I can help it, so I'm actually studying different people's processes. That applies to my art, it also applies to my video making. There's a lot of thoughts rolling around my head around video making and YouTube and success on social media and all of this stuff that I was supposed to have figured out a long time ago, quote unquote supposed to, whatever that means. To break it down, essentially I'm looking at the voice that I have, which in the past has been very mixed. I haven't had a good sense of who I am. And that is hopefully going to be changing going forward because I've noticed that I'm not the person that a lot of people in my life have tried to mold me into being. I do not fit the cookie cutter, and my voice shouldn't either. Truth be told, I have been criticized much more heavily by much louder people than you. I was born into a world that criticizes me for existing. And constructive criticism is great when it's asked for, when it's needed, when it's providing value to the person being criticized. Life is complicated, but I'm going to do my best to just speak from my own being and figure out who I am so that I can share that with you, regardless of what trolls on the internet or anybody really has to say, because the people who love me the most have sometimes been the people that silence me the hardest out of love. They just want to protect me, but sometimes protection just kind of pushes a person down into being who they really aren't. I am very gentle but passionate. I'm firm with my boundaries, and I don't really fit into the male gaze, which is okay because beauty doesn't just fit into the male gaze. Other things that I'm trying to improve on include my technical skills, which I'm taking jobs outside of YouTube in order to improve those skills and really play with what my camera is able to do, what my best practices are going to be, all of that good stuff. And that boils down to, having multiple audio backups. It's having multiple cameras in certain situations. It's lighting properly the first time and not just saying, we'll fix it in post. If you've been following me, you've seen some pretty janky stuff on this channel as I sort of learn how video production works. And lastly, I'm really working on how to tell stories. What is the narrative on this channel? I'm still going to lean into figuring out how to use more eco-friendly products. I've got a video planned on that coming up soon. I will always be about experimentation, and I'm really excited to play with projects that have been on my mind for years. Stories are something that I've always been passionate about, but haven't understood how to put together. That art form is very unique, and it can be very unique to each creator, but the reality is that every creator on this platform, on social media, what they're doing is curating a story for you to consume. Even if that story is, I made this thing and here are the oopsies I made, the things I was really proud of, etc. That's what my style has been in the past, and I think I need to tweak it to fit who I am. I'm not sure what that narrative style looks like yet, and there will be a lot of experimenting coming up on the channel, but I'm really excited to dive in and sort of study what other people do, see what I can do, and blend it all together to find whatever works. All of this is to say that the channel is doing some weird stuff. It's going to continue doing weird things, and it's always done weird things, but I am thinking of you guys, and I'm trying to build my skills this year. If there's anything you have for me, whether it's encouragement or thoughts on things you'd like to see on the channel, please leave them in the comments. I'm totally here for that. As far as the book dioramas go, at the end of this project, I actually ordered a couple of little button lights, essentially, to put inside them because it is a really dark corner of my house that I decided to put them in. And I don't know if I love that choice. You can kind of see they're a little bulky and all that jazz, but for what they are, I'm going to leave it, and hopefully in the future I can do a glow up of this project because it was really fun. I really love having tiny little worlds hidden away in my house. And I think there's a lot of people out there that would enjoy that too. With that being said, thank you so much for getting to the end of the video. Here's 1,000 experience points just for that. You really are a rock star for getting to the end of this one. I just talked and talked and talked. I think it all has merit, and I'm really excited to talk with you guys some more and share actual stories rather than just ramble at you as I've done in the past. Thank you so much to my patrons, Mark, Nathaniel, Twyla, Liam, and Fluffy. Fluffy is new, so give them a warm welcome down in the comments. And if you'd like to support me, my Patreon can be found at the link in my description. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Don't forget to drink some water, and have a good one. Peace.